World Renewal, 37 years of building leaders, churches, and the Great Commission.
Brent Henderson, this is my wife Stacy, and the ministry that we have is called Unleashed Men. I also have a podcast called Unleashed, and the whole purpose of what we do is really to reach the family, especially through the men. We know, most times when you get the man, you get the family. So that's kind of where we've been focused. A couple of things, doing a lot of evangelism to men. We've seen probably about 17,000 men come to Christ in the last decade. So we know that reaching the heart of a man, especially the way that I love to do it through the venue of the outdoors, really taps into that side of him that he wakes up. And so being able to get out there with these guys and just kind of rub elbows with them, talk about their passions, the things that they love to do, and build trust so that when it comes time to be able to lead them to Christ, and then even more importantly, disciple those guys so that they'll go out and do the same thing. So traveled, in probably over 30 countries, being able to share the message. But most of the time now, I just kind of keep it here in the continental U.S., a little bit in Canada, but mostly it's right here. But it's been amazing to see how receptive, men are when you tap into, especially purpose, that part of their life where they're looking for something bigger than themselves to be plugged into. And God has that plan for them, and encouraging them and getting them excited about that is what really kind of sets that spark, that fire going. And so that's kind of what we do, what we're about. This is, you can see here, the Unleashed. This is the new podcast we have out. And it says, "We are the resistance." And of course, we're talking about fighting against the enemy. We have something called Unleash Plus, which is a kind of a behind the podcast thing where members can go in and they can get, small group studies, questions, all kinds of different things that go along with the podcast. This was a book I had written about 5 years ago called Into the Wilds, The Dangerous Truth Every Man Needs to Know. And these two books kind of do the same thing. They take you, into the wilds and then bring you back to the home front to help you deal with, unhealthy thoughts, emotions, and actions. But what's fun is the way that we do it, because I go through some crazy, real life stories from anywhere from Africa to Alaska, and capture their attention, and then bring them in and give them the tools that they need to be able to, go after those things when the enemy hits us. Like maybe, you're struggling in your marriage, you've had, loss of a job, grief, all kinds of different subjects. This one came out a couple years ago with Baker Books. This one's called The Roar Within, and this is unleashing the powerful truth of who you really are. And that's kind of how Unleashed got started when we did this whole thing. And we just came out with a new shirt as well, which, sorry, doing a little promo thing here. But I love this. It says, "When you sit with warriors, the conversation is different." And that's really what we're trying to do, is create warriors for Christ that know him and want to go and make disciples. And there you go.